the life of me, I have no idea why the timer stops and it doesn't change cameras. I'm trying to figure it out.
It's like a replacement bus. It just shows up and goes, what?
Yeah, exactly. Hello, everybody. As you could probably tell, because I'm in a hoodie and Alistair's in a flannel shirt, we're a bit low energy tonight. It's been a busy week.
It's been a busy week, John.
Thank you. And it's none of the particular things have been individual. Well, one thing was individually not that great. My mom has COVID. But it's just been a lot of weird starts and late nights and lots of projects and lots to do. So there will be no exciting parkour video games. That's January's being very January, Rubesco.
Yes, it is.
Very valid. It is wet. It is cold.
The official Met Office report literally says can of smashed assholes.
Yeah, weather report is officially can of smashed assholes. Going for a walk in the cold and the wet and the dark is, not necessarily the greatest. But we're trying to do our stupid walks for our stupid mental health.
Because it works.
Because it works. It's just, we're all kind of like, it is, I wish you all a very January. So, we're going to play, we're going to chat, we're going to hang out, just we're not our normal caffeinated peppy selves.
Some brief context for that. Dean is absolutely going to be a guest as soon as Dean is not busy being an amazing act.
Yes, Dean is currently in stage play, and so the timing of his schedule is that we didn't find out till quite late because he was so busy that he wouldn't be able to make it tonight because he is quite busy. We've got him on the DMs in Discord, and we're going to try and coordinate something as soon as his schedule eases up a little bit. But enjoy. It's Burns night. Alistair made us the most Californian Crannikin I've ever seen. So for those of you who don't know, Robert Burns, very famous Scottish poet, very sexy. Burns night is tonight. It's the day that Scotland recognizes and celebrates him. Usually people have what's called a Burns supper. Haggis and neeps and tatties is very much the traditional fare. My haggis is in the freezer because I just didn't have the energy to cook it tonight, so we'll do it this weekend. But one of the other kind of traditional desserts that goes with a Burns supper is Crannikin. Crannikin is a dish of a toasted oats streusel, usually served with either custard or berries and booze.
Or
if you're tired and still want something sweet and Californian, then Alistair crushes up the leftover oatmeal cookies and puts them in with yogurt and raspberry jam. And that worked quite well. It was quite tasty. The oatmeal cookies were excellent, but now they are gone and I am sad. So, that totally works. We'll do a proper haggis and natties and tatties and neeps on the weekend. Quite a bit quieter than the intro music. Okay. I'm not sure if I can make us any louder without putting a microphone directly in our faces, everybody. Thank you for the feedback. I think we're having a little bit of a... See? It smacks Alistair in the head. That's no fun.
Dude, it's fine. I'll just move around.
You want to scooch?
Let's move around, see?
Okay. I want people to be able to hear your lovely voice. I think maybe we'll have to turn the gain up a little bit as well. Almost said natties and teeps there. Yeah, right.
That's what it's called on Earth too.
Exactly. A bit of a jump scare when other sounds happen. Thank you for letting us know, Wendy. I will have a look at it. OBS actually just released some new EQ settings for audio, which I have not yet had a chance to play around with. So we're here. Look, even Chungus is like, what? What do you want? I'm here. I'm in a bucket. I'm in my night hat. He looks very well, doesn't he?
He does. Now that we have an actual frickin' fridge, which was one of the many fucking events last week.
Was it last week?
Yes,
was
because
it really only last week?
It was last week because last Monday was Operation Fridge. This Monday was Operation Door.
Yes. Oh my gosh. So when they fixed our refrigerator, they scratched the kitchen floor. So instead of okay, so they scratched the laminate on the floor. I'm like, okay, fine, it's laminate. You pull off a piece, you put another piece in, you fix it, right? All good.
No.
No. What our property management decided to do was to send a man to the house at 8 o'clock in the morning on Monday with a power tool, take the door off, lean it down 3-4 millimeters, and put it back on. And this seems really overly built for me, especially power tools at 8 o'clock in the morning on a Monday.
At
Was
one
a
point, two
bit.
of them.
That was yeah, that was Monday. Yeah, and then Monday evening
Adventure.
has an adventure, and it had a lot of emotion attached with it.
If you want to talk about
I,
it, you
I
can.
will talk about it. So I'm a lawyer.
You may have noticed.
You may have noticed. Up until a couple years ago, when I changed jobs, I lived in Suits. And if you are a woman of size in Europe, you have an extremely difficult time shopping for suits. And so I've always wanted to do something about that. This year, we go to at least one formal event every year, or associated with our publishing, usually. And this year, we have 2, maybe 3 weddings plus another formal event to go to this year. And a couple years ago, Alistair had a kilt made with a nice suit jacket. And then he got another different, fancier suit jacket to go with his kilt. And I got jealous because I don't really dig on dresses terribly much because, as he aforementioned, difficult to shop. And I am even more annoyed and tired about the fact that I have to find like a new one for every event, and I'm not allowed to apparently reuse them, and it's expensive and time consuming. So this year I put my foot down, and I found a very nice tailor. And on Monday we drove to meet the tailor and had a very good time playing with fabric samples and patterns and designs, and I am having a suit made, which I have wanted for the longest time, like literally since I qualified. And it's basically a tuxedo. I'm having a tuxedo made. And you can guess what color it's gonna be, but it doesn't count, because anybody who knows me and knows the characters I love knows, thank you, Rebecca, knows what color this tuxedo is going to be.
It's gonna look so good.
And it's not black. And it's gonna take a while, and there will have to be fittings and stuff, but yeah, a proper suit. A suit.
Ooh, sir. Ooh, yes.
A proper suit. No. It is not green, Wendy. It's going to be purple. It's going to be this wonderfully complex, modern, beautiful, dark, plummy purple. With proper She-Hulk. Yes, technically yes, because okay, to go for this appointment, I loaded up an entire folder of like all my favorite Jen outfits from the TV show and the comics. And then I found some other ones that I'm like, no, I don't want to look like that. I don't want to look like the Joker, and I don't want to look like Kate Middleton. One time she wore a bright purple jacket and trousers. I'm like, no, that's bad. But this one of Jen in the courtroom in this nice, warm, muted, sophisticated purple, I want that, but as a tuxedo. So, the other reason I kind of took that approach, JJ, is now that I work in-house, and now that I don't wear a suit on a daily basis. I do my job in yoga pants and sometimes in hoodies. I need much fewer of them. And so I can plan to spend more on the one I need when I need it. So I've wanted to do this forever. And I was really nervous. I'm like, she's gonna yell at me, and she's gonna tell me I'm doing it wrong. And there is the, uncomfortableness that comes with every fat person shopping for clothing. But we did it, and it was a blast. And God, I think we were there 3 hours.
We were. We rocked up at 6. We left at 9.
It was supposed to be like a 45-minute to 1 hour consultation, and
we left and literally as we were leaving, she was like, "Oh shit, come have a look at this," and found something else for us to have a look at.
Yeah, right. So we had a very good time, but then we drove back, and it was like the whole evening, and there was an emotional like as a result. And then we had to get up early on Tuesday and do some other stuff, and then we had to get up early this morning and do some stuff, and now here's another late night, and blah 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 blah.
I do also have to point out that this Taylor has a beautifully calibrated sniff test, which basically breaks down to Schrodinger's dog.
Yes.
Because the first thing literally the first thing Margaret said was, "You heard there's a dog bowl. Do you have a dog?" And she explained that she has a Springer Spaniel puppy, which, as anyone who knows the breed knows well, means that is a dog made entirely of love, feelings, legs, and absolutely no impulse control. What the fuck soever. And she was like, "No, I never quite know how customers will deal with the dog, so I don't have them here the first time." Cut to us both doing this.
Bring the dog. Next time, bring the dog. Tell me everything about the dog. So, yes, we had a very good time.
Next time, you're going to get a suit fitting, and I'm going to get a buddy.
Yes, that's the hope. Precisely. But that was fun, and I'm excited about it. And I'm still a little nervous about it because, you pick out samples and thoughts and feelings and answer questions.
And also, bluntly, as so many of you know, if you are a size which is considered not one of the 1.5 sizes for both men and women in which normal people fit, there's dick all for you.
Yeah. But that was good. But it's been 3 solid days of, I'm going to get up early and do this thing. Okay. Well, that's done. I never have to do that again. Oh, no, I got to go early the next day and do this thing. Okay. Now I have to stay up really late and do this thing. Like last night, I found out that our website for our brand new nonprofit company.
So many pockets.
The email contact form was sending things into a spam oubliette, and I had to go in there and dig out the 17 unresponded messages about, hey, we love you, we'd love to donate to you.
Would you like money? Don't throw me in the spam folder or anything. Thanks, Google. We were paying you for that shit.
Yes. So yeah, lots of kind of one-offy, ultimately good, ultimately one-off, but there's just been an awful lot of one more things the last couple of days, hence hoodies. So here we are.
Also, I look very cute in these.
You look adorable in your plaid shirts. I'm very glad you like them. Yeah, JJ, it very much adds up. I'm glad that we have, knocking on wood, nothing scheduled for the next couple of days. Okay, I don't. Someone over
My
here.
My favorite episode of The West Wing is Celestial Navigation.
Yes, which is unfortunately all we can say.
Is it?
At this?
I don't think it is, because I've been announced. I've been publicly announced.
For that one?
Yeah. So
okay, talk about the one that you've been publicly announced for, not the other one.
So tomorrow at 2 o'clock, I'm doing my first recording for Among the Stacks, which I'm really excited about, because it's a type of character I've never done before. And so I'm excited about it, maybe a little bit nervous. Also, driving back from the Taylors, I got an email from another show I've auditioned for, and I no longer have to audition for it.
Yes.
And that's all I can say about that for now. That will change, I'm guessing, very soon. And yes, hashtag and Alistair is in
Marguerite has on her to-do list this weekend, okay, I kind of officially need the hashtag and it has Alistair in it thing for reasons.
I also have...
Because he keeps auditioning, and I keep saying yes, which is lovely.
There is another show that hasn't quite announced yet that I am in. And I'm also in auditions for 2 or 3 other things, one of which is something some of you will have heard of. To rumor control it out, it's not Magnus Protocol.
Yeah.
That process is a mystery to me, and it is best for me to just imagine that I will have no part of it.
Yeah.
But it's...
The extended Alistair universe may be a Yuletide category.
That would be very cool.
Now I'm thinking about if we could okay, we're going to have to put together like a new demo reel that's just, these are the things I've been in since the last demo reel.
Years and years ago, the UK charity Comic Relief did a fantastic sketch based on Luther, the Idris Elba detective show, that is somehow getting a movie spin-off on Netflix in March.
Because Idris Elba, that's why.
Because Idris Elba.
Duh.
Which was Luther...
The Alistair Cinematic Universe.
The ACU.
It would be the Alistair Auditory Universe, though, wouldn't it? The AAU.
Anyway,
You were saying?
so they do this Luther sketch. So you have Idris Elba in his huge coat of justice showing up to some awful squalid flat where someone's been killed, and literally every black dude celebrity the BBC have worked with for the last 15 years proceeds to do a who's on first moment, dressed exactly the same, claiming to be Luther.
Oh, I love that. Very fun. Should we do an opening monologue?
Yeah, we do three things on this show.
Well, we remembered. Go.
Yeah.
Hey, how many things on the show do we do?
I'm so glad you asked. I'd love to tell you. We do three things on this show. The first one is an opening monologue. This gives you a chance to get situated, hydrated, fed, medicated if you need it, comfortable.
Take a stretch after us nattering on for 20 minutes at the beginning of the show.
Basically something for you to ramp down your anxiety and something for us to warm up.
Look at this, Wendy. Oh, you're only at 18 minutes. Pezzy, 19 minutes. We're getting better, right? I mean, down to a science, right?
So, once that's done, once the cat and the Roomba are engaged in their usual life or death battle, or more likely, the cat is riding the Roomba to defeat its enemies, then we'll kick off. The meat of the show, the main feature, if you will, varies. Most of the time it's a video game. Right now we're playing Scarlet Hollow Chapter 4, and we're not going in a fucking church.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I can handle possessed rats this evening. I still hold that's going to be a separate chapter story.
I hope it is, because that means we don't have to deal with it now. Sometimes it's a guest, like we said at the top of the show. The amazing Dean from Secret of St. Kilda.
Dean Kenneth, I think.
Dean Kenneth,
it is now,
which is his current stage name.
Which is what we want to talk to him about, because he's gone equity, and I don't know what that means, and he changed his name, and what's going on here? But we'll have that whole interview.
Amazingly worthy social media follow, profoundly lovely human, incredibly talented actor. Really fucking great haircut right now, too.
But he likes Parma Violets, so...
And he is not wrong. He is not wrong. I got you. Got you, Dean. I got you. So Dean will probably be our next guest, and if Dean isn't our next guest, Dean will be one of our guests at some point really soon, I'm quite sure. But for now, it's video games, and specifically the video game that we're playing this week is Scarlet Hollow Part 4.
Continue with more
We are going to, Margaret has just very helpfully dropped the content warnings up or on the chat, which could conceivably be Arnold Schwarzenegger saying the word all in the Terminator.
There are a lot of content warnings for Chapter 4 in specific. Please do take a moment to look through those if you need them. Keep in mind that that link may contain more detail, but also spoilers. But also, this is a branching narrative game, and so we may not encounter every individual content warning the producers of the game, Black Tabby, so helpfully provided. But there they are for you. If you need them, we will remind you about them.
So, and a lot of those content warnings could basically be boiled down to Scarlet Hollow. It's like The Last of Us, just with jokes. A few of them.
Yeah, well, we just watched the most recent episode of Last of Us, and oh my gosh, that could be like a whole other hour conversation.
And then, really after we have cheerfully traumatized you with Abby's amazing...
Hawkeye, you've played the game 16 times through.
Good Lord.
Okay, you're the people who they're talking about in the stats that are like, people just finish the game and then start over, then finish the game and start over, and then finish the game and start over, and it's you!
That's fantastic, Hawkeye. Well
it's
done.
You! You're the problem, it's you! No, it's not a problem, it's a good thing. Anyway.
So, once that's done, to ensure that we do not send you home with, some trauma, or at least more trauma than we all arrived with, then we'll do some shenanigans, which are basically, here's something funny from the internet, which isn't us, but we're going to say it to you.
So Eldridge says, which is worse, Parma Violets or Necco wafers? I love Necco wafers. I love the licorice Necro wafers. Parma Violets are disgusting.
I feel like Necro wafers is kind of a Freudian slip.
Yeah, Necro wafers. Oh God, we're getting into that whole Catholicism Eucharist thing. Let's just move on quickly. I like Necco wafers. I do not like Parma Violets. For one thing, Necco wafers have different flavors, I guess, technically. Necco wafers just taste like painful chalk. Don't like it. 9. Grim has 9 playthroughs from Chapter 4. Oh my gosh.
That is very impressive.
Hades is a good game. Very much so.
I'm currently playing in my downtime both Disco Elysium, which is fantastically written and very grim, and Death Stranding, which is
Fantastically written and very grim.
And very grim.
Oh,
and I'm actually
honey.
now edging towards leaving chapter 3 after a mere 18 months there.
I am not playing anything at the moment because I finished Pathless, which was delightful and lovely and wonderful. And I'm not quite ready to move on to something new yet because, like, the list of games that I have to choose from at the moment is all very, like, I don't want to do the Alan Wake remake. I'm like, that's very grim and beautiful.
My Dead
I'm
Wife!
just so tired of My Dead Wife. I may play Heaven's Vault again because I really love that game. What was the other thing I was going to play? Phoenix Wright is an option. There was something else. I really want to play Pentiment, but it's PC only. We might play it here after Scarlet Hollow.
Yes.
To be honest. Something else I wanted to play, but I can't. Yes, it's called Dragon Age 4. Anytime, Bioware. But this Friday I get the new comic, and the new comic is Varric and Scout Harding, and I'm very excited. But I'm making myself wait till Friday because that will be because I have to watch the last episode of season 2 of Leverage Redemption on Friday,
Rebecca,
and I'm going to be sad.
That sounds really cool. When I finish the game, please remind me of that because if you're comfortable, I would love to read it.
Used it as the text I analyzed for one of my uni essays. Ooh, nice. Wendy says, I've been adjacent to Greg playing Disco Elysium, and it's quite important to pay attention as a backseat gamer, or it gets even weirder. Yes. 100%.
I can tell you the 2 exact points where I realized that was the case. The first one was where I was given the option of growling, I am the gloaming, as an interrogation technique.
I remember you laughing about that, yes.
Thank you, Rebecca. And the other was the haunted telephone exchange.
I'm gonna want to play this game.
I think you might. I think you might. Harry is very squalid, but
that's okay. Sometimes squalid happens. Okay. Opening monologue, or we're never gonna get any gameplay done.
Oh, I've already attempted to both punch the terrible small child and the terrible huge racist. In both cases, it ended very badly.
Oh dear. 25 minutes. Okay. All right.
So, our opening monologue, because we do 3 things on this show. And we're about to start doing the first one. Our opening monologues are often
25 minutes into the stream. Well done, us.
Our opening monologues are provided, by and large, by the amazing Mr. Nate Crowley, author, bon vivant, jazz maverick, occasional dead Roman, and just all around thoroughly, deeply good egg.
And Ducky has done an excellent job of picking a thematic sequel to last week's opening monologue, because this week is The Tragedy of King Beef, a RimWorld royalty story, part 1 of 2.
So now entering the Nate video game universe.
So you can guess what we're going to have next week. A beast with a mind. A mind and fists.
Since there's good odds you're either stuck at home right now or are soon to be, I thought it might do us all good to have a bit of story time.
This was released March 2020.
And today I want to tell you the story of King Beef. It is a tragedy. A tale told by an idiot, full of mace jewels and uranium armor and signifying nothing. Nothing except perhaps the psychological dangers of taking social distancing a bit too far. King Beef is one of my personal library of custom RimWorld scenarios, and I talked about it in a post last October. And with the recent release of RimWorld Royalty, I figured it was the perfect time to wheel out the king once more and see how he would fare in a galaxy where genuine kingship was now within his reach. He fared appallingly, as it turns out. But let's take a trip together and find out how.
I'm going to pull this a little tiny bit closer. King Beef wakes with a roar of incomprehension amidst a huge stack of hay. That hay has saved his life. When his ramshackle barn ship broke deep and came apart on the void reefs of the Diogenes cluster, its wreck crashed down on an arid nearby moon, and the king would have been obliterated had he not been having a rage nap in the feed store for his spaceborne cattle ranch. Now, if that isn't a backstory, looking around him, the king sees that only one breeding pair of his herd have survived the impact, along with his sole possessions, the solid uranium armor and matching mace, which, in his eyes at least, proclaim the divine legitimacy of his rule. Plus a spare set, just in case.
Once his shocking new circumstances are filtered through the hosepipe-like tangle of his brutish nervous system, the king has only one thought. I must amass as much beef as I can. With his mission set, our monarch gets to work. But while he sets to it, we should find out more about the man himself. Who is King Beef?
King Beef is not a complicated man. He's a farmhand who became a butcher who became an astronaut who found a mace forged from uranium and lost his mind on the black edge of space. Oh, Nate, that's beautiful. With nothing but his herd for company,
Move on.
King Beef has paced the deck of his fusion-driven barn for 33 subjective years. But thanks to the reckless shortcut through the Diogenes cluster which brought him here, relativistic distortion has meant that his life has spanned nearly a millennium of objective time. King Beef neither understands nor cares about that.
Also, on this list of things King Beef doesn't care for are other people, social convention, and the concept of having enough beef. On the list of things he does care for are just 2 items: being strong and acquiring a huge quantity of beef. Item 1 is covered, at least as he still has his strength. Beef is an ungainly colossus of a man. Wearing his massive unpowered armor all day, every day, has made him something like a hybrid of Jeff Capes and a rusting JCB digger. And thanks to the low gravity of the moon he has landed on, everything he might encounter here will have the constitution of a bag of quavers when weighed against his enormity.
Quavers is a bag of potato chips.
Jeff Capes, famous British strongman, a man who once had a fight picked standing in line at a shop. He reportedly audibly sighed. The shop owner, for whom who'd seen this happen before, obligingly cleared the counter. Jeff turned round, picked up the 2 people trying to fight him, one-handed, placed them on the counter like small children, picked up what he was buying for free, understandably, and left.
Legend. But to maintain his horrid power, the king must have beef.
The king must have beef!
I need that on him. That's his phrase. And so he's begun constructing a ranch. Although he has landed in a completely barren landscape, he has found a few saguaro cactuses and felled them to make a simple cabin. Oh my god. Cactus cabin. No. A simple cabin where he can cut boulders into rough-hewn blocks for further expansion. As the cows nibble at the hay mound outside his door, King Beef settles into his cactus wood bed in full armor and dreams of gravy.
After 3 days, the king has managed to sow a cornfield and pile up...
Where did the corn seeds come from?
Let's move on. And pile up enough slate blocks to create a crude hay store. He's just considering expanding his own quarters when he receives a call on his Nokia 1100. His ringtone is the theme from Gladiators. The call is...
There's a link! There's a link in... Oh, God.
The call is from Sabas.
Hold on.
This will... We're going to get copyright claimed into
the
sun if we
Can't
do this.
Can't do it. Okay.
We'll
listen to it later.
Drop the link in the chat, and we apologize in advance for you folks hearing this when you sleep tonight.
Yes. All right, keep going.
The call is from Sabas, a praetor of Metkos, the decaying empire which oversees the local systems. Enfeebled by the moon's low gravity, Sabas is being pursued by a rat and begs shelter at the king's homestead. Beef obliges wordlessly, trudging past the panting, terrified officer and annihilating the rodent's entire back half with a single passionless swing of his uranium bludgeon.
Is that what they're calling it these days?
Heyo! The praetor is unnerved, but rewards King Beef with the official title of Yeoman of Metkos and a psychic implant that gives him the power to ignore pain. King is pleased.
Ah, thanks, Stitch. On the day he plans to finally move his haystock into the new slate barn, the king wakes to find that a confectionery freighter has fallen foul of the void reefs and has scattered 161 delicious chocolatey space bars over the nearby desert. This is a welcome relief, as he has been sustained up until now only by foraged agave fruit, and a single half-flattened rat. And he gurgles with sullen satisfaction as his brick-fingered hands scoop the bars from the sand. The chocolate bars are molten inside their wrappers from the 30-degree heat. But King Beef is the sort of monster who doesn't enjoy chocolate from the fridge and just squirts them into his mouth like grim toothpaste.
At the height of summer, a thunderstorm ravages the plain on which King Beef has built his home, and since it is the only freestanding object for miles around, it acts as a lightning rod. Just before dawn, the king is woken by flames sweeping through his crude living area as the fire burns out the wooden core of his homestead. He sustains horrific burns while salvaging his spare set of regal armor from the inferno, but thanks to the Praetor's gift, he is able to psychically ignore the pain, and so even though his hands are raw and blistered, he beats out the fire in his cornfield with his usual blank, steady gaze.
Why did he bother? It's uranium. It's gonna Anyway. King Beef rebuilds his home in stone and allows himself a larger, more comfortable living area. But as his castle grows, the locals begin to hear tales of the strange ranch being built in the scrubland and grow covetous. What locals? I thought. Anyway, over the course of the next week, as a heat wave strikes, the king sees off incursions from 3 separate club-wielding chancers, but their blows might as well be flapping of a fledgling sparrow wings against a fox's jaw, and Beef is pitiless in his retribution. One intruder has their net flattened so comprehensively by his maul that their head vanishes altogether. But as the spray of cranial matter patters gently to the dry soil, the king feels only faint satisfaction. For the raider, it transpires, was their old rival Sam, and an old grudge has at last been settled.
Growing uncomfortable in the heat, the king digs some compacted scrap out of a nearby hill, the compressed remnants of some former civilization perhaps, and uses it to construct a wind turbine. He intends to use this to power a cooling unit, which will eventually provide the means for a beef freezer once his herd is up and running, but the king does not know how to make a battery to store power when the air grows still. As he sits down at his research desk to puzzle it out, it occurs to him that he barely has any idea how to think. 3 Labradors wander out of the dark, and he accepts them as the hounds of King Beef, but they have no secrets to teach him when it comes to electronics. The hounds of King Beef!
1 second. The dogs, as it happens, provide Beef with a welcome distraction from the prospect of having to invent the battery from scratch. Unlike his bovine subjects, they are not content to eat hay, or at least not without it being blended with meat to make kibble. And so, with a mighty heart and heavy fists, the king staggers out into the desert and beats an entire herd of camels to death, before dragging their carcasses home one by one. Imagine this harrowing moment from Conan the Barbarian, but repeated again and again and again over the course of a long, relentless hour.
Alas, King Beef gets so into his work that by the time the first batch of kibble is ready, one of his hounds is starved. Feeling the nearest thing he can to genuine remorse, he waits until the dogs have fallen asleep in the barn that night. The next day at dawn, there is at least one more sack of kibble. That same day, the king's sole cow gives birth to a calf, in what he takes as a sure sign that God has forgiven him for the sin of dog burgers.
I am made of questions. For a while, King Beef knows something like contentment. Although his crops are stricken by the blight, he has ample food now, both for his hounds and his herd, and he himself can enjoy a diet of pure chocolate. He even makes a chess set to teach himself to think, and paves his bedroom with ornate sandstone tiles to the extent where, quite accidentally and for the first time in his wretched life, he's created something that could be described as beautiful.
This prosperity cannot last. As a great cloud of toxic fallout settles over the scrubland, forcing Beef to pen up his beasts inside the barn, a sense of gloom settles with it. The air thickens to a perpetual greenish-yellow twilight, and Beef is about to lock the homestead doors when the theme from Gladiators pipes up from his Nokia. A naked bartender called Hiroshi is being chased through the chemical fog by a donkey and begs to be delivered by the fists of King Beef. Usually, the king would balk at the idea of company, but he is making 0 progress on the battery project, and perhaps this new serf might do his thinking for him. He wades out into the caustic mist to do battle.
Hiroshi is an easygoing fellow. He's happy to sit and begin work on battery inventing, in fact, the moment the king has gruffly patched up the donk marks in his torso. He even rescues a pair of camels from the toxic gloaming and tames them. But over the next few days, cooped up with his titanic, heavy-breathing host, as the fallout worsens outside, he begins to wish he had lain down and welcomed braying death at the hooves of his pursuer.
King Beef is simply unbearable to live with. Each day begins with Hiroshi being woken with a coarsely delivered insult, while being lightly strangled. Each day ends with a game of chess that the king does not take well to losing, and Hiroshi is pelted with pieces all the way to his sleeping bag in the hay store, whilst being called a big piss by his liege lord. Eventually, the last straw comes when they run out of chocolate and camel milk, and King Beef growls that he is gonna get some meat. When he returns, he's dragging the day-old carcass of a human raider, and Hiroshi can take no more. Bellowing in frustration, he cracks and starts hammering away at his captor's stupid spare armor with a wrench.
King Beef merely shakes his head in sorrow and withdraws his mace.
The tragedy of King Beef will conclude next time. Oh, Nate.
Nate, what did you do? I'm kind of intrigued by the concept of this game now, to be honest. I do like a good lose yourself in a million years worth of sandbox inventory game. I played the crap out of, what was it called? The one where you built a castle. I know! I can't remember its name anymore.
King's Conquest? King's Conquest 2? King's Conquest with a Vengeance.
Stronghold, I think. I think it was called Stronghold. I played the heck out of it. Folks, we're going to take a little quick ad break, and then we will come back to actually start the content for this evening. For those of you who are new, ads are a reality of our
Welcome
late
to
capitalistic
the capitalist
hellscape.
We have jackets.
Exactly. It'll be about 3 minutes long. If you are subject to ads, feel free to get up and take a stretch, have a drink of water, have a snack, get some, some oatmeal cookies, make a cup of tea, get some beef. Do not kill a human raider, please. Thank you. If you are not subject to ads, we'll be back in about a minute and a half, and we'll natter on about something, I'm sure.
What about Dwarf Fortress? You ever consider Dwarf Fortress? I heard good things about Dwarf Fortress. And there are dwarves. It's like Sim Fortress.
Really?
Yeah, with dwarves.
Was that about? Dwarf Fortress?
Much like Rebecca was saying in the chat, I hear very good things about Dwarf Fortress.
I don't know anything
it
about
does
it.
interesting stuff, and it's very customizable along similar lines. My version of that is SimCity. I lost years to the original SimCity because that was the thing. And I think a little while ago I was cussing around through the games library going, maybe I want to play a thing. Oh, we have a city simulator.
Uh-oh. Yes, but then what's the name of the new Skyrim and space game? Starfall?
Starfield.
Yeah, the thing that's going to consume your every waking spare
Shocking twist.
recreational
Xbox
moment.
only.
What? No way.
Currently. Xbox only.
It can't be Xbox. See, look at Wendy.
Yep.
It can't be Xbox only. That's not happening. No. It may launch on Xbox, but it can't stay
so
there.
it'll be like a year and a half, I would guess, before it's on PS5.
No, that's not allowed. I can't wait that long.
I can wait. I'm good. Along similar lines, the new Xbox, the toaster-looking one that's basically just like a Chonko monolith.
You're going to talk about that TARDIS mod, aren't you?
Yes! Someone has, of course, modded their Chonko monolith Xbox so it looks like a TARDIS. And if we ever get one, that's happening. Along similar lines, after this, we will engage in video game, I promise. Last Friday, I embarked on a retail adventure.
Oh yes.
It is not widely advertised, and I don't think I've ever kind of said it out loud.
Right, Stitch. Does that mean it has unlimited storage capacity? It's definitely bigger on the inside. It should be.
I really like Transformers. I have like a dozen on my shelf, and they're really nice.
There's a whole shelf.
And I'm very kind of non-denominational when it comes to Transformers.
You bought things?
You bought things? Never.
Right.
And as a result, I followed 2 or 3 Transformers fan accounts, and one of them posted this thing of a combiner, the 5 robots that turned into one, which I'd never seen before, that looked spacey.
It was, in fact, spacey.
So I asked my guy, because I've got a guy who knows the stuff, and I was like, what's this? And he said, oh yeah, it's from the Chinese Space Museum. It's not an actual Transformer, it's one of the kind of knockoff brands. And I was like, go on. Oh, there's a lot of them. Go on.
There's a lot of space Transformers?
Have you tried this website? And I did, and I found a listing for it on there. And this is very important. The listing is £10 for all 5. It says the words 5 in 1. One of these turns into an Ariane, one of them turns into a space shuttle, one of them turns into, I think, Jodrell Bank. It's spacey shit. I fucking love spacey shit. Anyway.
As our living room will attest.
So I went back to my guy and I was like, is this site legit? And he was like, yeah. And I was like, oh, fuck. He was like, yeah.
It's probably overstocked from the gift shop of the museum. So we have taken a 12-pound punt on a Chinese space transformer.
One of 3 things is going to happen. I'm either never going to see this thing, in which case it's annoying that I've lost 12 pounds, but it's not
the end of the
bad.
world.
Or I'm going to get a random little space bot, or I'm going to get all fucking 5.
He's very excited about
this possibility, excited.
If you haven't noticed.
Also, this website is quite needy and emails me. Yeah, it emails me every day with stuff other people are buying, which so far includes.
Would you like me to teach you how you can make those stop?
By perhaps using unsubscribe?
Yes, that's a great link.
So far, other people seem to be buying stand mixers, £350 Megatron toys.
Look at them.
And sex toys.
That's a heck of a combo to sell at one shop.
Right.
I mean, the fan fiction kind of writes itself. Would you like a robot? And a robot?
Would you like a robot?
And a robot?
And a dildo?
I mean, they're all kind of robots in a way. Very one-stop shop, right? So, yes, absolutely. If this ever shows up, it will totally be reviewed.
If this ever shows up, if it shows up in the right period of the week, I could be persuaded to do our first ever unboxing.
Oh, okay. No, you won't. There's no way you could. There's no way he could wait that long.
Space!
Yes.
Space!
There's no way he would wait that long.
And then an hour later, it was
I would take a picture. I will definitely take a picture. It will be our fan art for the day. It will be you unboxing.
I believe it might actually be a Transmorpher as well. Brilliantly.
Let's hope that they don't mix your order up if you do.
If they do,
I want there to be an unboxing. I mean, I would say no to a stand mixer, but that's probably not what happened and would not be the hilarious result you were hoping for, Ben. Let's
say goodnight, Gracie.
Good night, Gracie. Okay. Shall we play a spooky game?
All right, go on then.
All right, everybody. Let's play a spooky game. Ah!
Or, Pezzy, or
I can
let's
drop the
really,
Steam Deck on
really hope that they mix it up if we do an unboxing. because that will be freaking hilarious.
Oh, I know, right? Okay. I've just kind of thrown some things around.
It's all right. I'm covering for it. No one can see.
Very
No one can see
tired.
what you're doing. It's all
Very
right.
tired. Okay. Where am I? What are we doing? We're playing a game.
As Wendy has said, content warning, risky package.
Risky packaging. Yes, exactly. Just a reminder, if you play, yep, great. Thank you very much, Wendy. Appreciate the spoilers warning. Please wiggle right along, but don't spoil it. All right, you might want some headphones.
Of course, before we do, just for the abundance of caution, content warning, this is a horror game, and it is not intended to be visible past Marguerite's head, or for all audiences.
Can you see okay?
Yes, I can. Please visit our website, blacktabbygames.com, if you need a full list of content warnings. You won't be able to save everyone.
That makes me sad.
You might not even be able to save yourself.
That makes me sad.
Welcome home.
Yes, we always start with the content warnings because they are quite intense. And again, just as a reminder, if you can't remember particular characters, we have been assembling a dramatis personae as we go along, which might need a little bit of tweaking based on last week. Like I'm thinking the entry for the priest, the preacher, Janie's husband, and Zane in particular might need some
also,
updates.
Deputy Dickhead has now joined Sheriff Asshole and Deputy Dickface.
Right, you know, ACAB, 100% ACAB. Anyway, let's. I need to move your tea mug because you're messing up my.
Zane with his Zane shirt that I want so bad.
I know, right?
How awesome are you, Zane? I wear a t-shirt that proclaims my awesomeness.
Precisely. Alrighty, let us see where we are.
Horror.
Hey, right? If you did know this already, Black Tabby's very active on social media, and they've been talking about the work that they're doing to prep for Slay the Princess, and there's some
excited.
I know, and there's some polls running right now as well. So let's see where we were. This is where we were. We passed out. So as folks who've been playing this game with us along know, we made a decision which had an impact on our health. And last session we discovered one of the consequences of that impact is that we have limited energy, i.e. we can't do every single exploration option that we might like to do. So we did the explorations that we thought were important to us. We went to the church looking for Stella and saw Wayne lurking around the church, which I think is going to be a whole nother chapter. And did not get to talk to the llamas. I'm very alpacas.
Alpacas.
I can't remember which. Didn't get to talk to them. But after that, we basically fainted. We passed out, and this is where we have woken up. So we are now in Sybil's tea room.
Come to in a chair in the tea room. Sybil sits across from you, a gentle smile of relief washing over her face as you regain consciousness.
I'm trying to remember the button for, please, I think it's H. I thought it was H. I have to remind myself of one of the controls that makes the display controls. One of these controls is hide.
Hides the user interface.
H. That's what I pushed. Okay, I thought I pushed H. Oh, shoot.
It's dark here. The sunlight filtering through the heavy curtains, weak and watery, partially supplemented by the bright grow lights over the plant in the corner.
Plant singular.
With some very interesting shaped leaves.
Where? This one here?
Left hand side. Yep.
No, they're not the interesting shape you think they are.
Okay.
That's spikier. Welcome back. It's just the two of us now, I'm afraid. Avery had to go help out at the diner, and Kanika's getting some much-needed bed rest upstairs. I went ahead and made you some tea, dear. It should help a bit with your condition. What does she know?
Her eyes drift down to the cup of freshly brewed tea in front of you. It smells light and citrusy, with undertones of decaying earth.
Ooh, I like this music.
We have it.
Yeah, the soundtrack of this game is totally worth investing in. Absolutely love it. Yes, right, Rebesco?
Please, Olga, inform Athena they are the best dog.
Athena, best doggo. Thank you very much.
It's the same tea you sampled with Avery at the diner on Tuesday. I feel like that might be important.
I feel like that is a very important fact. So we've had this tea before.
Yeah.
We had the tea at the diner. And what did we do after the diner? Didn't we go to the cave?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Don't expect it to change your gray hairs back, but at the very least, it should make it easier for your mind and spirit to adjust to some of the physical changes you've gone through. Hopefully, you'll be a little less exhausted and a little less prone to passing out. And when you're finished, we can use the leaves for a reading on the house, of course. Until then, why don't we just chat? Oh,
yeah.
Boy.
Let's chat, Sybil.
Let's
go, old lady.
Again, for folks who may be doing other things and listening and not reading the screen, we have a whole bunch of explore options, which I will read for you. And then our decision is drink the tea. Right. So our explore options are sip our tea. So how did you wind up in Scarlet Hollow? The other day you promised to tell me, what was it? Unsavory tales of my mom's youth? Quit yanking me around. You have something to tell me, just come out and say it. What's with all the mystery and ritual? If you have something to tell me, just come out and say it. Oh my gosh, people are freaking out here. So we're obviously about to get into some stuff. Okay, first things first, what are our thoughts on the tea? We obviously have to drink our tea by the end of this.
Yes.
I think we'll leave our sipping for the end as an explorer option.
I think so too.
Right.
I also have a suspicion about the tea. Suspicion is everyone in town is being dosed with it.
I think everyone in town seems to be taking it. My question is why and what's in it.
And whether it's voluntary.
Well, I don't know. We're going to learn more. So let's start with the easy question. So how did you wind up in Scarlet Hollow? Okay. Right? That's the other thing. No lemon, no sugar, no honey, no. Okay. It's just a straight up herbal.
Yule.
But whether or not I was right, wiggle. Thank you all for the wall of wiggles. I'm totally enjoying it.
It's like a Hans Zimmer of wiggles. It's great.
So, how did you wind up in Scarlet Hollow? Oh, my family's been in these hills for a long time. That's how I know so much of the local flora. Everything I've learned was handed down from generations of hill folk. There hasn't always been a reliable doctor up here. Especially not one most folks could afford. They have to figure out their own medicine.
Sybil and our friend Steve Schill would get on like a house on fire.
Oh, quite, I do believe. We're going to ignore everything about the whole you have something to tell me. The other day you promised me, what was it? Unsavory tales of my mom's youth? I most certainly did. Though I might have been exaggerating a bit for dramatic effect. I'm prone to do that. In a town this size, you get to know everybody, no matter what the age difference might be. Not much of a change there. Vivian was a little younger than me, which meant I always had a certain older sister instinct about her. Her family wasn't good to her. Perlan was a lot like your great-grandmother, Edwardine, which is to say, she was not a very kind woman. Okay, so we need a little bit of reminder on the family tree here. Perlan was our... Tabitha's mom and our mom's mom, right? No. So Perlan was Vivian's sister. Our mom's sister.
Yes.
Right, okay. So Perlan was our great-grandmother, Edwardine, who we encountered in the freakiness in the library.
Yeah, we don't talk about Edward.
Similar to Tabitha, but with more social grace and considerably more hatred for her fellow man. But your mother wasn't a shrinking violet either. She was just as stubborn as any other Scarlet, so her family choosing her as their punching bag made her into quite the rebel. Right? I was very much expecting a bless her heart there as well. Okay, so we have some new explore options. We have...
What happened when my mom found out she was pregnant? Why were Pearl and my mom raised by Edwardine? What happened to them? What do you know about my grandma? I feel like I know a lot about the women in my family, but what about the men? Did they even exist?
Who cares? What happened when my mom found out she was pregnant? Okay, we have a lot to go here. Yeah, let's see. So we're going to start with, why were Pearlan and my mom raised by Edwardine? What happened to their mother? Their entry into this world was violent, I'm afraid. Their mother was young, too young to be pregnant, especially with twins. She didn't survive their labor. Okay. What do you know about my grandma? Oh, look at her face. It dropped again. I'm afraid there's not much I can tell you. I think there were two in that generation. The eldest died when the girls were still children. We got a lot of twins and a lot of women dying young.
Yeah, we do, don't we?
Edwardine never spoke about them, nor did your mother. So Edwardine had a sister as well? Or a sibling?
A lot of pairings.
I feel like I know a lot about the women in my family. What about the men? Did they do they even exist? I suppose they just haven't been very noteworthy since Edwardine took over the mines. Her husband died a long time ago, and to be quite honest, I can't even recall his name. Might have been Stewart or just something as forgettable. Interesting. We have come across a mention of Edwardine's eldest children before. I can't remember it now. There was a nice family tree picture at one point. I'm trying to remember it. Excuse me. Edwardine apparently outlived all her children and then brought up her twin granddaughters. Okay. From what Vivian said, her father was some teenage fling that ended once your grandmother found out she was pregnant. That's another theme we're getting. We're getting a very... We recruit the man for the purpose needed, and then we don't care what happens to them. This is about a matriarchal line vibe, which...
I mean, fair. I'm not hating.
I'm fairly certain it was similar for Vivian herself, though she was much older, and I believe she was the one who ended it, what with Skip in town and all. Yeah, what did happen when my mom found out she was pregnant? She came to me for advice. She was distraught. Sus. And what did you tell her, Sybil? It was like she'd been handed a death sentence. Maybe it was fear from what had happened to her own mother. Maybe it was something else. But she seemed convinced she was in danger. Do you blame her, given her family history? Tabitha had already been born by then, of course, but she was born in wedlock, so I assumed your mother's worries had something to do with religion or inheritance. Though the Scarlets weren't particularly religious, as far as I knew. Oh yeah, this is definitely a matrilineal line thing. But But the way Vivian was that night she came to me, it stuck in my mind. It's always had me wondering what it was about your family that made her panic so much at the thought of having a baby.
So your options are quit yanking me around.
So our remaining options are to sip our tea, which we're going to do last. Quit yanking me around. You have something to tell me, just come out and say it. Or I think it's all what's with the mystery and ritual. If you have something to tell me, just come out and say it. So that's what we're going to do. But first I'm going to save. There we go.
We
okay.
save now.
I save now. Okay. Keeping an eye on the... Sybil, what's with all the mystery and ritual? If you have something to tell me, just please come out and say it. I'll need your tea leaves first, dear. I have pieces of the puzzle, but the tea leaves should help to give me the full picture. So now, sip our tea, or we drink our tea. I want to sip the tea because I'm hoping we might get some more information about the tea from a sip.
Also because you fancy.
Also because my tea's gone cold and then I'm going to just drink the rest of it. Achievement unlocked. Tea
you take
reading.
the tea, sipping it delicately. Citrus smell is fleeting, quickly replaced with the earthiness at its core, like you've taken a mouthful of dirt.
See, now the tea's gone. Or the mug.
But the aftertaste combines the two flavors into something soothing and medicinal, and you find yourself feeling more comfortable, your muscles relaxing, the first time in days.
And now we finish the tea. It's comforting and relaxing and medicinal. You
close your eyes and take another sip, and then another. It's delightful.
Or it's kicking in.
The tea is gone before you know it. The small cup empties save for what's left of rehydrated leaves, coating the bottom.
I loved tea leaf reading when I was a kid. I got very into it for a while. Yes, the repeated delightful does make me a touch uneasy.
Sybil wasn't lying when she said it would help your condition. You still feel aged and worn, but you're a little less tired and you are a little mentally sharper than you were a few minutes ago.
Still have the vision lines, though. Look around the edges of the screen.
They have faded a wee bit.
They seem to have been turned down just a touch, which is nice. Oh, good. I'm glad you found the tea palatable enough to drink. It should do you some good. It's one of my more medicinal blends. Now, on to business.
Sybil takes the cup from you, staring thoughtfully down at the sludge.
Oh dear, this doesn't bode well. You've got just about every warning that can fit in the bottom of a cup. Cross, kettle, hourglass. All of these mean death, misery, and difficulty. And the hourglass ties it all together with a definite urgency. It's fair to assume that this all has to do with whatever brought the Ditchlands. Something is coming. And whether any of us can stop it, I'm not sure. But we may at the very least be able to figure out what it is.
Hello, Raiders.
Hello
Welcome
to the raid.
show.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for coming. We hope you enjoy it. We are, as JJ Hunter has just pointed out, playing a game with a hilarious amount of content warnings.
Which
This
we're
is
just going to
chapter
take a
4
second to pause and put in the chat for you.
of Scarlet Hollow. The content warnings are up. We have people in the chat who have played the game a lot and are in fact still playing it in some places. So please be mindful of spoilers. We have a wiggle emoji which we use in lieu of that. And enjoy the show.
Enjoy. So we finished the tea leaf reading, and we're going to try to figure out a little bit more about what this terrible burden is. And there's a central figure here, a cat, an enemy lurking in plain sight.
McQueen, get the car. We're going to go arrest Frou Frou.
There's a whole lot of options for here. Oh my gosh. Okay. The cat's got to be Pixel, or maybe it's Frou Frou. Those are the only cats I know. Cat could be Tabitha, Wayne, Stella, Kanika, Oscar, Reese, Avery, Dr. Kelly. She's been nothing but hostile since I've met her. The cat could be Dustin. He's a possum who lives in my dresser, and I try to talk to him every day to hear his wisdom and help him with his troubles. It would break my heart if he's the traitor. Cat could be Pastor Daniel. How do I know you're not the cat? Oh, wow. Oh, gosh, this feels like a who do you want to throw under the bus option. I know, right? Stitch, I think I'm going to do exactly that. I'm going to save right here so that I can try more options in the future if I want to.
Counterintelligence comes for Dustin.
Right? Okay. I don't want to make... We have no reason to get upset at her at this point. She's very sus. This whole situation is very sus. I definitely saved. I'm tempted to say Wayne, because he's the figure that we know the least about. Although I'm very tempted to throw Dr. Kelly under the bus.
I would go Dr. Kelly or Dustin.
I'm going to do Dr. Kelly because I don't like her. She's mean. The cat could be Dr. Kelly. So you have two options. You can say it's always the hot ones, or she's been nothing but hostile since I've met her. And I'm going to say she's been nothing but hostile since I met her because it's true. Joan Kelly is just a very blunt woman, bless her soul. Ooh. Reese's condition puts a great strain on them both, and I'm sure she doesn't mean to come across the way she does. That kind of stress would do the same to anyone.
That is fuck you in Southern, isn't it?
Oh, bless her soul. Yes. Yeah. Yes, it is. But she's not a friend of yours, and she's not family.
It's Tabitha.
So she lacks the closeness required to be the cat. You don't have to figure out an answer right away. It often takes time for the mind to connect the dots. What did she say? Family?
Family.
Hang on, let me go back to there's a dialogue here. But she's not a friend of yours, and she's not family. Okay. Just be on guard and keep vigilant that someone close to you isn't to be trusted. Because that's exactly what every horror movie needs. Just as we're starting to figure out things, we have to turn on each other. Oh, just communicate, please. We know from the Ditchlands that something terrible is coming your way. And it's likely that it's connected to some hidden enemy. Perhaps we can try to counteract whatever might be planned for you. Judging by what you told me last night, those stones, carving seals, whatever you want to call them, I think it's likely they have something to do with this. Right? That might be planned for you is quite... Until the cat reveals itself, it seems like your best course of action is to seek these carvings out. Piece together what you can from your visions and arm yourself with information. Oh, we're gonna go back to Dr. Kelly's house and break in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I know. Have you sensed any others around town? You think you might be able to find another?
Your thoughts drift to that door yesterday, the one that seemed to draw you in, urging you deeper into the night. Even just remembering it is enough to tug at you, compelling you to return and open it to see what's on the other side. You can find Stella later. Maybe you can even find her there.
Ooh, interesting.
Yeah, I'm with Grim. This feels quite steered.
Yeah, that is a very leading question.
What's important now is finally seeing what's hidden in the clinic.
So we have a couple of options here. I think I felt another in the clinic, but bad stuff always happens around them. I shouldn't seek out more of them. Those stones need to be left undisturbed or remain silent.
My instinct is bad stuff always seems to happen around them.
Me too. But bad stuff always happens around them. What happens around those stones might not be anywhere close to what could happen if we let the danger encroaching on both you and this town, act unopposed. The ditchlings are multiplying every day. This is all going to come to a head in 3 days on Halloween at the funeral. And it may just be a question of how prepared you are when it comes. I mean, that's a great question, JJ. Why aren't you...
We don't know she hasn't.
We don't know she hasn't been trying, and Tabitha's just not having it.
And this is a lot what this feels like. This feels like Sybil has found a piece she can move.
Yep, exactly. Learning whatever you can, could save your life. Even if you're faced with more ghosts or ghouls along the way. I think that's all the help I can offer. It's like she knows something and she's just not telling us.
She does. She clearly knows something.
Yeah. She was trying to talk Tabitha into the sacrifice, and Tabitha does get tea from her regularly. We know that.
That's a really good point, Stitch. We're a Scarlet that hasn't been indoctrinated by previous generations.
Right? We are the classic of the blood, but not of the mind. That all good detective stories are based on. I hope this conversation has been illuminating, even if it just brought up more questions and given any clear answers. So
That's
some
it?
options.
This is bullshit.
Explore. You helped last night. Why don't you come with me? That's it? This wasn't helpful at all. All you did was look at some leaves and tell me to go put myself in danger. Thanks, I'll let you know if I found anything. Well, we're gonna do the explore. You helped last night. Why don't you come with me? Come with us. I may have been able to see through that spirit's illusions, but I'm not some kind of all-powerful entity. I'm an old woman. I have trouble with my knees, and my eyesight isn't what it used to be. Preach, sister. In most situations, I'd be more of a liability than a helpful companion. Imagine if I'd been in those mines with you. Some use I'd be, struggling to climb over rocks and ladders, throwing my back out from all that crouching. That's it. This wasn't helpful at all. Doesn't seem like the right thing to say. No, that's not what she's done.
Thanks. I'll let
Thanks,
you know if
I guess. Thanks. I'll let you know if I find anything. What? What does Ozzy say?
The witch from the Charles Shaw Jr. vision seems related to Sybil and Kanika.
Right? So, let's explore that idea for a second. If as it seems very heavily implied, the Scarlets are a matrilineal line, then that means matrilineal lines work. And it makes perfect sense that other matrilineal lines might exist. there was a witch in Charles Shaw Jr.'s vision, right? That seemed related to both Sybil and Kanika. So maybe their job is to, they have a different purpose in whatever this great system is. Maybe they're a balance.
Yeah.
Maybe they provide support or warning or other skills. We don't know yet. So, interesting. Which came first, the Scarlets or the witches, right? And her family has been in these mountains as long as ours has. That's what she said at the start of the reading, absolutely. The witch in Junior's vision set him up to uncover a carving. So she's doing the same. She's asked us to go and find a carving, hasn't she?
Shit.
Well, okay. So what they're trying to imply there is that this is an action that gets repeated generationally. And it's possible that previous generations made a very bad decision. And now the only way to kind of undo that very bad decision is for a new generation undergoing the same test to make a different choice. Which is why Sybil's been working on Tabitha, and why now Sybil's trying to work on us, because she knows Tabitha won't be swayed, and we're an outsider. We're the piece she can move.
Suddenly getting slightly Dark Tower vibes from all of this.
Well, you know, repeat narratives, sins of the father, blah, 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 is classic stuff.
Yeah.
I always come away from these streams with new theories. I love being here for the theories and because the vibes.
We love having you here, buddy.
Thanks, Sybil. I'll let you know if I find anything. And can I get some of that tea to go?
Yeah, like a bucket.
Yeah,
just a bucket.
I'm just gonna go bathe in it.
Like a sippy cup.
Glad to hear. I hope all goes well, and I wish you luck. Hopefully you won't need it.
It's not like you can be harmed by conventional weaponry, now is it? So.
Thank you again for humoring an old lady and stopping by for a chat. Well, keep in mind also, if Kanika is our skeptic, and she's trying to pass on matrilineal line knowledge,
Then, oh dear.
and Kanika's not having it, either Kanika's brother's got to be doing it, or Sybil's trying to kill two birds with one stone by combining her knowledge and Scarlet's bloodline's knowledge in one person, i.e. us.
Now very worried about who the traitor is. I hope it's not Sybil, or Kanika, or Stella, or Gretchen.
Or Tabitha, to be honest.
The game seems to be setting us up to assume it's
Which
Tabitha.
is why it's too transparent.
And I
to
think
be honest.
Tabitha's just kind of a dick.
I think it's going to be some unrevealed, like the fact that there's actually a person who hasn't passed yet, that everybody's assumed that's passed. Like some older relative that's turned into something out there somewhere. Folks, we are getting the you should take an ad break kind of warning. So why don't we take 2-3 minutes here real quick? Can you make me a cup of tea in 3 minutes? You do?
I can certainly try.
All right, and we will be right back.
Oh, JJ. Oh, that is very good.
That's a very good theory. I think that's exactly what's happening, is that we've got different people aware of different aspects of a common problem, and they're all trying to solve it in ways that match with their skill sets. So the medical doctor is trying medicine, and Sybil's trying teas and conversations.
It does seem very significant that there's an entire generation of Scarlet Hollowians who are either
Hollows.
medicated or have to be medicated in some way.
And that Kinika's now gotten ill. I'm very concerned about that.
Yeah.
You know, just we're not sure all of the. Oh, we've got so many different like clues and misoriented puzzle pieces, and we haven't started putting them all up together.
It's worth playing this bit with Sybil with multiple traits because you can get some very different impressions of what she's up to. Yeah, I would imagine that this with Mystic is much more direct.
Yeah, I am really, really, really looking forward to a Mystic playthrough now to have probably a very different conversation with her. We were just talking during the break while he was making me tea about how this seems to be a skip generation thing, right? We've got us and our parents, and Tabitha and us. Our parents are gone. Grandparents are present. Grandparents' parents are gone. Great grandparents are present. You know, we've got some kind of skipping, sacrificing kind of things going on.
The death of Stella's parents into an even more disturbing light.
Right, and it's not just us, because we know that Kinika's part of Sybil's line. We know Stella's got a line where she lost her parents. We know Reese has his mom. Not quite sure what's going on there. There's just so many options and so many potential things that this could be.
It's big and chewy, and I love it.
Yes, I really like the idea. Stitch recommends Street Smart, Mystic, and Book Smart. Street Smart, I like that idea because it's like, okay, I can see through this. This is a hustle. You know, if it's a hustle, that would be their assumption. But I really want to play Mystic and Strong at some point, and I do want to do Book Smart as well.
Mystic and Strong just sounds like a really fun build.
Right?
I know lots of things about ghosts. Also, I am bench pressing you.
I bench pressing ghosts. Yes, exactly. Alrighty, so we've stopped by and had a chat. Let's see what happens next.
With a small grunt of effort, Sybil gets up from the table, and you're escorted back to the door. The banner says tea is life.
Yes. There. Oh, we get a much better view. And
that's Kanika's dad. I'm willing to bet.
That looks like Kanika's dad. The flower placement here, this is an in memoriam kind of thing.
Rosemary?
This kind of looks like rosemary. The shape of the leaves in particular.
Yeah, playing Scarlet Hollow as Rick O'Connell sounds quite appealing.
I love it. Tea is life. Look, she's got all of her crystals and her
melted
drawing racks, melted
there.
candles.
I'm assuming it's a melted candle and not a melted.
And you notice that the plant that's under the grow light here is still blocked by her. Still can't see it really well.
Interesting, doesn't it?
Very interesting. I know, it looks really cozy though, doesn't it? And the moon face here matches her rug, which is very nice. She's got tarot cards, obviously. Or maybe it's a tissue box. I don't know.
I'm guessing those are tarot cards.
But she was tea leaf reading.
Yeah.
So, yeah, okay. And remember, be careful who you put your trust in. According to your tea, the cat is getting ready to pounce, and merely being ready for it might not be enough.
Also quite worried it's Avery.
No.
Sybil closes the door to the tea room. The bells of its door strangely flat in the stale air of the nearly empty general store.
Is Miles taller than Kanika? Do we know? Because the child wearing a dress in the portrait is significantly shorter. I
Ooh,
noticed
that's
that,
an
Ozzy.
interesting
I did.
spot.
I did as well. Like maybe Kanika might have had an older sibling at some point.
That was not where I went with that.
Hmm.
Kanika might have a trans sibling.
Don't know.
That's an interesting one. Sybil closes the door to
Yeah,
the
yeah. So we can talk to Miles. We can check in on Kanika. Or, oh, it's not giving us a choice. It says, thou shalt go to the clinic.
Sorry, Stella.
Well, okay. Let's take a look at this room a little bit more. All right. So, generic groceries.
Mushrooms. Is that a pickle barrel?
That is a pickle barrel. Oh, freaking pickles. And the adorable stuffed toys. Pepsi. All sorts of stuff. I like the local map. He's just hanging out. Let's try talking to Miles. Can't hurt, right? Okay, so again, for folks who may not be reading along, explore options. Is your mom a witch? Ghosts are real. Just thought you should know. So Kanika has a cold, huh? See any weird rocks around town? Or I'm old now. Thanks for noticing. Wow. That can only be said by someone who's never talked to Miles before. Huh. Should we ask? Is your mom a witch?
We're old. We can be rude now. It's allowed.
Really?
Expected even.
Hey, Miles, is your mom a witch?
Wouldn't you like to know?
Look, a lot of weird stuff is going on around town. I feel like a witch could be super helpful, so if she is one...
I thought she, just helped you. You're grown. Take care of your own self.
Huh. Okay. Fine. See any weird rocks around town?
Yeah. You. He smirks. Clearly this is a very sick burn, and you should feel bested by his wit.
Ah. Good to know, Miko. Thank you very much. Miko says Miles is much more helpful if you're hot. Creepy, but helpful. Nice.
So Kanika has a cold, huh?
So Kanika has a cold, huh?
That's what she says. She's just trying to get out of work again, like I didn't have anything better to do all week, while she sits in her room watching anime. Says the guy in Goku pants.
Right. Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm going with support. Says the guy in Goku pants.
Everybody knows Dragon Ball is good anime. She watches the trashy shit.
Oh, I see.
Oh, I see. All right. How's the Snyder Cut working out for you, Miles?
By the way, ghosts are real. Just thought you should know.
Yeah, I know. I've seen tons of videos of ghosts doing stuff on the internet. I'm not 12.
By the way, I'm old now. Thanks for noticing.
Didn't you always look like that?
Dude! I'm gonna go check on your sister.
Your brother's mean. You're not going anywhere before checking in on Kanika. You make your way upstairs.
Such little brother energy. Okay, before we knock.
Bats.
Look at all the old stickers.
Kitties.
Oh, no. Notice. These are much lower and much older. Yep. Unicorn, etc., etc. All of the gothy ones are higher and newer. So,
Kanika is slightly younger than she presents, isn't she?
No. I don't think it's that. It's that she's had
this room a while.
A change of personality, or her presentation of herself has changed as she's gotten
Miles
older.
is what a friend called teen bitch syndrome. You knock on Kanika's door.
Mom, I really don't need any more tea. I think I'm just gonna lie down for a while. Explore. We're gonna take the explore option first. It says, I'm not your mom? Oh, Petra, what's up? So our options are, can I come in? I was hoping we would spend a little more time together. I need to talk to you. It's important. I'm going to the clinic. I was hoping you would join me. I could use a breather. Let's hang out for a minute. Honestly, let's just ask, can I come in, I think. Can I come in? Sorry, Petra. My mama's right. I'm exhausted. I probably shouldn't push it or I'll wind up worse off tomorrow. It looks like you're on your own.
You make your way out of the general store and down the road to the clinic.
They're really gonna make me do this by myself.
God fucking damn it. Y'all. You make your way up the familiar hill past the rows of ragged houses that make up Scarlet Hollow's residential area. It isn't long before you find yourself outside of Dr. Kelly's clinic, its secrets enticing you to find a way in. Raccoon to your right.
I see it. I also see the ditchling. I'm gonna talk to that raccoon. There's a ditchling over here. There's a ditchling over here. There's Wayne. Look. Look at the porch.
Yep. Big sticky.
There's
wanker.
Wayne. There's a ditchling. There's a ditchling. There's a whole bunch of them here. I bet you that's Reese's room. Because remember, he was downstairs. There's a whole bunch of them outside the room. Looks like there's another one here.
Yeah, this feels like badness.
Oh, boy. Wayne's right here. Over here on this porch. See? Far left. He's right here.
Where's Wayne?
Yeah, where? Oh my gosh, a Where's Wayne book would be so cool. Oh, okay. Okay. I'm becoming attenuated to his Cobra Commander-esque head. Okay. It's Wayne's World. We're just living in it. Stop! Alright, I'm gonna save here. Just in case. We'll do a little tiny bit more, but not much more for the night. And I'm just gonna save here because I'm scared. Oh my gosh, I'm running out of save spots. Stop! Stop it! Stop it with your creepy Wayne voice.
Wendy, how did you bold that emoji? I don't know how, but you did.
I know. The shifting light effect is really impressive too. Okay, so let us analyze the house quickly from a tactical perspective, right? Big front porch, basement room. I'd probably try to sneak around this way and go like talk to Reese in his room. Big top section, more porches.
That's a very throw someone off this size balcony.
You got 18 pages of saves going. Okay, then I'm being positively reserved in my saving. Okay. Is Sybil sending us on another magical bomb
Just
this
go
morning?
over here
We do
and
seem to be
disarm
getting
this
directed to trouble spots, getting dangerously worse. True, but I'm not sacrificing any more years of my life for these things. So, and this time I'm alone, so I gotta be careful. Alright, let me talk to the raccoon. I want to talk to the raccoon. Start coming up with a raccoon voice.
Okay.
Bradley Cooper.
Hey! Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I'm thinking like
Rocket.
Bradley Cooper Rocket would be a way to go. Okay. Depending on dialogue.
This guy's arm.
No.
Yeah. Even at the bottom of the hill, you can already feel the presence. It's like a magnet has been fixed to your ribcage, gently tugging you forwards, guiding you towards whatever emits this frequency.
Oh boy. Okay. All right.
Talk
So
to animals.
we've got a couple of options here. Explore option, talk to animals. So that's the one that's only available to us because we have this particular skill. Ask a woodland creature how they'd get into the house. Knock on Reese's basement windows. Excellent. That would have been my first choice otherwise. You've aged at least a decade since last night. You should see if Dr. Chelly can give you a checkup.
Let's go talk to Rocket.
Let's talk to Rocket first. Obviously talk to Rocket first. All right.
You quickly glance around, eyes trained on the underbrush. Flash of a striped tail grabs your eye immediately.
Very sly, Bradley Cooper.
Hey, can I help you, Buster?
All right. Look, behold this suspicious cave-like structure the raccoon is perched above.
He has a side quest.
Oh my. Trash Panda. Hey there, if you were trying to break into that house at the top of the hill, theoretically, how would you do that?
What? Just because I got little hands and I go through people's trash, I'm supposed to know how to break into places? There's a hill that'll take you right up to that big flat roof thing. Sometimes the humans leave windows open up there and I go inside. Don't tell them, okay? I like to sleep in that big piles of cloth. One of my few joys in life.
And that guy's arm.
He leaves as you turn back to look at the clinic. A dull throb sets into your knees. There is no way you're doing that.
Oh, so it's not gonna let me.
I think your vision spots are getting worse too.
No, I think we're just noticing them again. I don't think they may have darkened a touch. So yeah, yeah. No way we're gonna be able to do that option.
Not today, Rocket. Have your way in.
Okay, so our save. I can replace that save. That one's fine. So our options are try to crawl through Reese's basement window, or see if Dr. Kelly will give us a checkup.
I would point out that if Dr. Kelly is near any of the 5 to 6 windows, on all of which are facing the approach to the house, sneaking in through Reese's thing is not going to go super great.
Also, if we can't climb up a hill, I have a feeling our ability to sneak through windows is going to be impaired. I don't like it. But I think we're gonna have to do the so Dr. Kelly, it's been a hell of a night. Can I get a checkup?
I hate to say it, but this is quite a good spot to leave it.
It is a very good spot to leave it for the night. I know. And that way we can come back and agonize over this decision. Yeah. Exactly. I'm sorry, chat. It is getting late. This might be a very good place to leave it. So, I'm safe.
So here's what we're going to do. Next time, we will dive straight into this.
No, we have to know the continuing saga of King Beef.
After King Beef.
Dr. Kelly's going to give us a checkup, huh? Can I go talk to Wayne? He's right over here. I wonder if you have, like, the mystic trait. If it's, like, yes, Wendy says 18 minutes.
18 minutes to the Wendy pumpkin.
I wonder if you have mystic if it says, there's Wayne, go ask him. But he's following us.
Yeah, he is.
He's following us around and observing us. And I wonder if he's going to be our backup.
He's not the cat.
I don't think he's the cat.
Just remember, he's being treated by Sybil, too.
Is he?
Oh, yeah. First time we meet Wayne.
He's at her shop,
He's at
isn't
her
he?
shop. She has the line, but don't you pay him any mind.
Following us like a weird puppy. I definitely need to do a mystic playthrough. All right. We'll leave it here. Let's take a little quick 2-minute break just so I can switch around some screens, everybody. I wonder if Sybil asked him to help you. Oh, I think she did. 100% think she did. Now I understand why people are like doing the Wayne romance, because he follows you around like a puppy. I want to play this game again with a new playthrough. Okay. We'll take a 2-minute break. go and get any last beverages you need. We'll do some shenanigans, and we'll call it a night.
Oh, cool.
Mm-hmm.
That's really good, Rebecca. So I'm glad that gives you the option of stepping away from that.
Oh, that sounds like a good plan. Righty-o.
And we're back.
Yep. The ad's gonna wrap up in just a second here. Alrighty. Athena's adorable.
Oh my god.
I have to move this. Sorry.
Actual best doggo. Actual best doggo.
Bestest doggo. Nice. Okay, right. Let's do shenanigans. I know how to. I can remember how to do this. It's fine.
I got this. I'm doing
It's
a thing.
honest. I can remember this. She is baby. She's very pretty. And I'm glad she's enjoying the mystery.
Yes.
All right, so our shenanigans this week are from the fantastically named Chickens of Unusual Size. It's a lovely Tumblr post, which Alistair's going to kick off with. Right.
So the tire eating potholes in my neighbourhood finally killed both my rear tyres, and I had to get that dealt with. But while they were getting replaced, I put the dogs in puppy daycare. And upon picking them up early, the attendant literally sprinted to the front desk, grabbed me by the shoulders, and breathlessly exclaimed, "You need to come see what your dogs are doing."
While she escorted me back to the play yards, she explained that every time they have more than 3 corgi, they have to put all the corgis in a separate play yard because they turn into a little gang and bully the very large dogs by playing Cow Herding Simulator 5000 with them, and especially if Herschel is there, because corgis are bossy pants dogs, and Herschel has the bossiest pants of them all, and he acts as a ringleader.
Now, despite being a little Don Corleone to the to the short bitch mafia, Herschel is also a huge baby and will apparently cry and try to climb the fence and cry and eat people's shoelaces and cry if he is separated from Charlie during playtime. So this means any time that Corgi Party is happening, Charlie also has to go to Corgi Party, despite being full height, running cat software, and a senior citizen. He copes well with being Gulliver among the Lilliputians by climbing onto the roof of the playschool castle they have for a climbing structure in the yard, kicking the ladder down behind him, and stretching out to nap in the sun while the corgs frolic and gamble around him.
Corgi are dogs that make up and play games with secret rules, like kindergartners. Everyone Bark and Sync is a popular game, as is Follow the Leader, and its companion game, March in a Circle around a tall structure like ants caught in a death loop.
So, what I was greeted with when the attendant and I snuck out to the play yard was the sight of Charlie, sound asleep and flat on his back with his paws crossed over his chest, because sighthounds sleep in the stupidest fucking positions, on top of a faux medieval castle with gargoyles on the corners, surrounded by approximately 7 corgi, all trotting in a circle around him, barking in sync.
They look like they're performing some kind of ritual, giggled the attendant as I attempted to get my phone to focus.
Yeah, they're going to summon Cthulhu, I said.
Unfortunately, this made the attendant literally fall on her ass laughing and distracted Herschel and his compatriots. So they didn't get to complete the summon, and I didn't get the pick.
Now, the attendant kept laughing because apparently she's new to puns and had mostly gotten it under control by the time we got everyone's leashes on and back out to the front.
The manager was watching the front desk, bemused. Did you get to see them doing the ritual?
Yeah, shrieks the attendant, still excitable with merriment. There, they were. The attendant ends up giggling on the floor.
You okay there, Katie? Asks the manager with minimal concern.
We think they were trying to summon Cthulhu, I explain, and Katie screams from the floor. Wasn't going to work, though. You need a virgin sacrifice, and Charlie had an STD when we got him.
It was the manager's turn to shriek, and Herschel to start barking in solidarity.
That's right, Charlie. Your sluttiness saved the world, I told him as he jumped up and kicked me in the face.
Anyway, that's why Charlie's nickname at daycare is now Superman, parentheses, whore.
Is this the same lady who did the weaponized yard sale?
I don't know,
Because
but the vibes are so similar. Yes, we should have put Chungus in a corgi hat today.
Because I'm sure she had a slightly demonic corgi called Herschel.
Didn't she have a corgi named Herschel?
Same one, yes.
It is the same one. Thank you, Duck. Okay, this person has a fascinating life. I didn't know dogs got STDs, and I guess logically I should have seen that
coming. I said it so you didn't have to. If you like this type of content, we can also heartily recommend an excellent YouTube channel, which I believe is called I Regret Nothing.
Thank you.
And well played. Which I believe is called Brian from Omaha. If you do a YouTube search for let's see what dogs are in doggy daycare today, you should jump straight to it.
So he just does different little videos about let's look at all the corgis who are here today, or all the big dogs who are here today, or who's going to be good and sit today, or who's going to get this kind of treat today. And there's like a couple hundred of them, and they're so wholesome and
wonderful. The two which you will love, I suspect more than anything others, are there is Porfirio, who is a bulldog who looks like all bulldogs do, like a slightly unconvincing, hurried drawing of a dog.
He looks like a little goblin.
Looks like a little goblin. And Rudy. Rudy is a corgi. Rudy is a piece of shit.
And they oh gosh.
One of the earliest videos is the guy just obviously sneaking up to Rudy at the end of a long corridor going, keep your little butt, don't you run! And Rudy just goes from, yeah, fuck you, and hurtles down the entire length of the compound.
It's adorable. They're all adorable. The tags on this are Dogs, Family Lore, Herschel the Hanukkah Goblin, and Charleston Chew. Oh, for those of you who don't know, that's a candy from the U.S. No, I do not want a corgi. No. I don't need a long-haired dog in my life. I need a bodybuilder in a suede coat with a square head.
Yes.
That will eat everything.
A dog with actual Klingon eyebrow ridges.
Yes, and cute little ears. Oh, yes. I am Bo of a dog. Sounds about right for us, right? Fits right in. I feel like there's got to be a great minor Dark Lord with corgi minions short story idea in here. So, 100%.
You have corgis. Yes, I do. The possible uses that kill him.
Well, yeah, right? The queen and her corgi army, by all means. That's certainly going to happen. Oh. Sean and McGuire reblogged it, which is where a lot of people found it. That makes perfect sense. Chickens of unusual size. I'm going to this person's Tumblr page for a second. About that chicken. Based in Denver.
Are you real? Most of the time.
Can we be friends? Sure. Did you see my previous thing? Can you tag for X? Are you a chicken? I will neither confirm nor deny my heritage. Why do you spell things wrong all the time? Okay. Interesting. Okay. Good to know. I about Colorado art and writing cryptid. Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah,
I saw Pitty's described as bricks on legs because they don't really bend in the middle. Yeah.
I have a friend who memorably wrote a book.
Oh, if you go in the dogs tags, there are pictures. Ooh, thank you.
I have a friend who memorably was once paid to spend a month in the Clown Motel in Nevada, accompanied only by his dog Zola, who is a pit bull, and he's the one. He's the one who coined the phrase "pit bulls are great. It's like having a roommate who's a bodybuilder who is always wearing a suede coat."
Oh, Mochi. Have you all seen what Naomi's been up to? Okay, there is Charleston Chew lying. Oh dear, oh dear, he's broken. He looks very broken, very sweet, very broken.
Korg.exe has crashed.
Have you seen what Naomi's family did? They like stayed in some sort of antique store / deeply haunted hotel. Just wow.
You have fallen on a paragraph I am going to read because it is perfect. Herschel is delighted because he might not understand scent tracking, but he did learn how to point from Charlie and copies his pose exactly. It has almost exactly the opposite emotional effect. A pointing corgi, please scroll down just for a moment. A pointing corgi is the most canine clown shoes nonsense possible. Herschel's pose is flawless, of course. He learned from the master, but the perfectly straight back looks funny as hell with a perfectly straight knob of a tail. His head is up and his gaze is locked, but instead of predatory intent, his face is extremely excited about this new giant friend and their giant ankles he can barely wait to launch himself at. And his face is about 80% big dumb corgi grin, instead of Charlie's minute, even delicate hackles. Herschel has a full body-length doggy mohawk, which is a good 3 inches long at the peaks over his shoulders and hips, ruining the sleek image and making him look like he just came out of the dryer and is still full of static electricity.
And of course, the paw. The front paw is up and at the ready. He and Charlie are both right-pawed, apparently. And on his little stubby corgi legs, it looks like a toddler trying to use a smartphone. He thinks he's doing exactly what the big dogs do, but it only has these tiny feet. Anyway, that's how they made a jogger laugh so hard she ran into a garbage can. Oh, bless. Oh, bless. That's the sweetest thing. Hashtag absolutely zero brain cells operating this morning, but they had a very good time. Oh, these are very sweet. Thank you for finding this, Ducky. All right, Wendy's going to turn into a pumpkin in 4 minutes, so quick!
No worries. Thank you so much for joining us. This has been a delight as ever. You will find us next.
And thank you for being chill about the fact that we were very chill today, because not every day has to be 110%. Today was 80,
70,
85,
80. Yeah.
80, yeah. 80%. I'll settle for 80.
You will next find us on Friday when The Full Lid, our weekly pop culture, multiple award-nominated newsletter goes live. Yep. Some fun stuff this week, as always. I'm especially fond of the interstitials, and we've got a review of a really fun game, which is free, and you can play straight away.
Yay!
Then, next Sunday, we will return to Darkside Detective, where we will continue playing the Blood Wolves in the ongoing plan to beat the shit out of the Sea Hags.
Playing a baseball game.
On a dam.
On a dam that we just learned about. There's a siren in the basement and they want us all to sympathetically jump up and down and destroy the... It's a whole thing. And then
we will be back here next Wednesday, possibly with Dean. What's rather more likely with finding out just what the fuck is Dr. Kelly's deal.
Gosh, I hope so. I hope she's like gotten over herself.
Yeah,
sea creature siren, not an alarm. I mean,
we have to free the alarm.
Yes, exactly. You know? Have a lovely rest of your day, evening, time zone, and stay warm, stay dry. If you're in the northern hemisphere, like we are, and it's cold, wet, miserable.
Stay frosty, but not that frosty.
Yes, don't say that kind of frosty. And we will see you next time.
I've been Alistair.
And I've been Marguerite.
And this has been fun. We'll
see
you next time.
And this has been full of corgi butts for 100%. We'll see you next time.